Hey, Mrparka here to review a new one from RLJ Entertainment. It is directed by Joe BEGOS, who did Almost Human, which came out a couple years ago from IFC. This is The Mind's Eye, starring Graham Skipper, Jeremy Gardner, Ashley Carter, and Larry Fessenden. Just tons of people in this movie. NOAH SEGAN. A lot of people that have been in a lot of independent horror films, and a lot of recognizable faces that I appreciate seeing pop up in these movies all the time. Essentially what we have here is kind of a Scanners type plot. You guys are familiar with Scanners by David Cronenberg. It had 4 sequels, actually. A lot of people probably aren't as familiar with Scanners 2, what is it? The Order, New Order, Scanners 3, The Takeover, Scanner Cop, and then Scanners Showdown. I've been a fan of these types of movies for a long time, and I was very pleasantly surprised with The Mind's Eye. Nowadays, we have a lot of power movies, a lot of superhero films where people have telekinesis and mind powers and things like that. But we kind of left the horror genre of that behind. No Stephen King's or Cronenberg's kind of making stuff like that, like Firestarter or Carrie or Scanners, of course. So it was nice to see The Mind's Eye kind of get a movie. We finally get a movie like that, and it was really cool, actually. The Mind's Eye, like I said, has a really solid cast. Basically starts off right off the bat. No padding, no waste of time. Graham Skipper is kind of the track down, put into this kind of a facility where him and his girlfriend are kind of being experimented on. They don't like it. They break out. The baddie wants him back, so he sends goons after him and whatnot. The cool thing about this baddie is he has something else up his sleeve, as he should. Kind of a very typical story, but done in a great way, and done in a lot better way than so many modern movies are made today, and done better than a lot of the older films of the same kind of vein. What I loved about the movie, like I said, was it does have a lot of actors I enjoyed seeing, and they all turned up their acting abilities, it seemed, in this one. Graham Skipper in Almost Human, honestly was never a fan of his character in that movie. I mean, he's not a very likable character. In this one, he got to do something completely different, really raw and intense, and I really enjoyed his character, as is I did the main villain in the film, who comes off like an evil comic book character, but he does it great, and he's trying to develop his own powers. So what this film did really well was actually set up some emotional moments with characters, some great showdowns, because anybody that's seen a lot of the older films will know there's not that many scanner showdowns or fight showdowns between people with psychic abilities, and they did a lot here, a lot of gory stuff, a couple fight scenes between them, which is really cool as well. There's one scene that I felt was kind of weak, and it's a scene where a character in like a 5-minute span gets scanned like 4 or 5 times, and it just seems really kind of dumb that this character would keep doing what he does and letting these things happen to him. But it's kind of a mixed up fight scene, so that's just the way it goes. Yeah, also another strong point about the film was they use a lot of strong primary color lighting, red and blues, and I enjoy that kind of stuff. It makes for interesting looking film. The film feels like an old film without constantly winking at the camera, which is something that seems to be a problem nowadays with films. They can't make their own movie. And I love to see movies that are homages done sincerely, and this is exactly what The Mind's Eye is. Instead of homages done that are just kind of, or semi-remakes that are just kind of laughing at their old source material, and not in a good way. Yeah, so this is a genuine kind of remake of Scanners, which is not necessarily a remake of Scanners. It would work perfect as a sequel. It would have worked perfect as the second Scanners, actually, in the series. Like I said, I am a fan of the Scanner films, but Mind's Eye, I think, is better than a lot of them. Yeah, this is coming out August 5th on VOD and in limited theaters. I suggest checking it out if you want to see a fairly well-acted, independent, gory, brightly, nicely lit film with a good soundtrack and emotional moments that actually get to you. I mean, yeah, it's got the whole package. I really enjoyed this film, and it gives you a good showdown at the end. It builds up these characters on a budget with a small cast and makes you kind of want to see what happens to all of them. And like I said, it's got lots of cool character moments in there as well. But on Mrparka, I'd give a good recommendation to The Mind's Eye. I think most people will enjoy it, and I think it's an improvement on Almost Human. I thought Almost Human was pretty cool. I think it was solid. I think this one's much better. But it's kind of a genre that doesn't get much love anymore at all. And I think that's cool. We need to see more movies like this because we're seeing a lot of the same old, same old. And although it is same old, there's not enough of this kind of stuff. I can watch this kind of stuff until the cows come home, until we all get tired of this kind of stuff. But it won't happen because no one's making it. But I'm Mr. Parka. Thank you very much for watching, and have a good one.
Zach, my name is Dr. Michael Slovak. I study the phenomenon of psychokinesis. I own and operate my own research facility.
I know who you are. We all do.
Every county in the state is looking for that car and 2 people to match your description.
How powerful is he?
I don't know, but the things I've seen him do, he's dangerous.
Once I learned there were others out there, I knew there must be a way to transfer that. And I was right.
Do you think he'll ever stop looking for us?
Not until one of us is dead.
You do what you need to do with the father. I want those 2 back here by dawn. Give the kid a gun and do what I ask. You can't run away from me now. I'm the only thing you have.
Slovak!